All right, let's do it. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to the sponsors. So Fight Aesthetic. If you use code BJJAsia on fightaesthetic.asia, you'll get 10% off all products except from the Legacy Gi. And we also sell aesthetic goods in Thailand now, free shipping. If you just check out Fight Aesthetic TH on IG, you can find some gis there. And also a quick shout out to Staline.food. These guys provide some amazing ready-made high-protein meals and drinks and protein powder as well. So thanks to Staline.food. All right. So the guest today is JB Jibs Chalbos. He's currently the head coach of Carpe Diem Hong Kong, and he was the former head coach at Temple Jiu-Jitsu. So Jibs, thanks for having us on. Thanks for being on. So first question, what initially got you into Jiu-Jitsu?
Wow, it's a deep question because I've always been into martial arts. I started Judo very young. Come from a very small town in France. Mm-hmm. So back in the days, there was like not many sports. There was Judo, football. Probably, yeah. It was probably what was around. So I remember my dad, he asked me, like, I was very young, like around 5 years old, and he asked me what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see myself playing in a team. Yeah. So I decided to go for Judo. Mm-hmm. And of course, small town, not many people. So I moved to an adult class when I was 11 years old. Mm-hmm. So I was definitely not built for the adult class. Yeah. And I realized that Newaza was a tool for me to be able to beat bigger and stronger opponents because I was not able to take them down. Yeah. So I started to kind of specialize myself in Newaza, in Jiu-Jitsu. And the thing was like, it was in 2000. Oh my God, I did the French championship in 2006. So I was 16, 17, 18. So I went into Jiu-Jitsu when I was 20. So I had a break with Judo after 18 years, something like that, because I went to a bigger city to study. Mm-hmm. And I did an internship. So I had the opportunity to go to an MMA gym. Mm-hmm. And again, back in the days, MMA in France was banned. So like mostly Judo guys over there, boxers, but not really MMA fighters yet. So I was mainly grappling. Mm-hmm. And I was training like crazy 6 times per week. I was, I don't know, 21, 22. I remember that I didn't go to my internship. I was like supposed to give flyers in the street. Mm-hmm. and in fact, like instead of giving flyers, I was just going to train. So I met one of my best friends back in the day, over there, Souk, who's now a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, was a Judo black belt. He has his school now in France. And we're training like crazy. But we didn't really know what we were doing. We're watching video on YouTube and things like that, and we're just rolling all day. Yeah. Then I moved to another city in France, just at the end of my master degree. And finally, I found a Jiu-Jitsu gym in Nantes, mm-hmm. Where I started Jiu-Jitsu under a purple belt. So I stayed, I think, 4 months in this gym because it was just like the how long my internship was back in the days, and got my blue belt over there because, of course, 18 years of Judo, MMA, mm-hmm. grappling, everything, and obsessed. So I got my blue belt very quickly in 2 months. And then I moved to Dublin where I started Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like in France, for example, there wasn't any Jiu-Jitsu competitions. MMA was banned. Was that, from what I understand or from what I've heard, it's because of like politics with like Judo Federation, right? Yeah, that's like Judo in France is huge. Yeah, like crazy big. Yeah, that's where the HQ is, right? The IFJ HQ is. Yeah. So 2 years ago, when I came back to France to visit my family, I remember my parents moved since then, but in this small town on the mat, there was 11 black belts, mm-hmm. 11 Judo black belts, and we are 2,000, in this small village, in this small town. So mm-hmm. that's just to tell you how popular judo is in France. So of course the level of judo is crazy high, and there is a lot of money involved, of course. And we are pretty. I don't really follow judo right now, but we were back in the days extremely good at the Olympics and World Championships. So politics being politics, money being, business being business, sport being business right now.
Yeah.
At some point, I remember in France, like 10 years ago, it was impossible to have a judo license and a jiu-jitsu license.
Oh, wow.
It was like, because there was big conflict of interests. It was for a short period of time, but 100% sure about that. So MMA was banned. So we were training like just on the mat, but there was no cage. There was no jiu-jitsu competition, was just like in existence. And yeah, that was back in the days,
Yeah.
I remember like there was mainly grappling competition where people were mainly training MMA because there was not many jiu-jitsu practitioners back in the days. So it was, business, conflict of interest. Only.
It's crazy now. 2 years in a row now. The Euro's been in Paris, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things are changing, and it's a shame that because the martial culture is so big in France. With judo, we had like amazing Thai boxers. We had the best judo fighter of all time with Teddy Riner. Before the previous best judo fighter of all time was David Douillet, who was French as well. And Jiu-Jitsu was so small, and MMA was banned, and we had like, I remember like on TV was stupid debate about, okay, is it too dangerous? Is it too hard for the body? Like, is it a crime to punch someone in the face? Where in the US, it was just booming, and filling venues and everything. And we're so late. And I remember guys who wanted to fight and to have like kind of a career in MMA, because back in the days it was so hard. They had to go to England. Some people had to fight in military base, like crazy things because sport was banned. And when a sport is banned in France, I mean, in a country, you can't even properly train because you don't have the correct infrastructure. All the media are against the sports. I remember there was documentary on TVs explaining that there was some illegal fights and everything. It was just stupid brainwashing.
So what made you move to Ireland?
So I finished my degree, and I was in a city named Clermont-Ferrand. So average size city, but still a city. And I finished my degree, and I had no job.
Yeah.
So I came back to France. I mean, I came back to my small town with my parents, in my room. So no bus, no car. And I'm gonna drive mad. I was playing PlayStation hours per day, doing push-ups, training judo once per week or twice per week, because there was not many classes in this small town. So I was applying like crazy to every single jobs, like Paris, everything. And of course you needed experience, despite the fact that in the business school, they tell you, of course, you're going to have a job at 100K when you're going to finish your degree. This is wrong. And I had my CV on a database named Monster. And I got a call from Dublin for a recruitment agency. And was okay, let's go. Like wherever, it's okay. Even if it's Alaska, I need to leave this place. Like, it was so depressing, to be all day, in a room and everything. Just for like 3 or 4 months, something like that. But my mental health was deteriorating so bad. So I was okay. I'm going to Dublin. So I moved to Dublin and I stayed 9 years over there. 9
years, wow.
Yeah, no, it's too much. Like, I mean, it's too much. Like, it's. Ireland is a great country, but the weather is rough.
I mean, it's just about as Scotland. I was the same as well.
Yeah, I mean, brother and sister. So that was rough.
Yeah.
In terms of weather, even the first year, the first 2 years when I arrived, it was, there was the Celtic Tiger back in the days where Ireland was so strong because it was the lowest level of taxes in Europe for big companies. So all the big companies came there. So it was crazy. And after there was the big crisis. And then when I arrived, it was just post-crisis when they started to grow up again. But it was not crazy time either. Mm-hmm. So that was rough. I was French. My English was not as good as it is now, of course, even if it's far from being perfect. But I had to make my place in a country where you arrive in the team and you're the only non-native speaker, but they need you because you speak another language.
Yeah.
So it's valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to prove that you have your place in this team or in this company. So 9 years in Dublin.
So where did you train in Dublin?
So I started in the gym with George Santos.
Mm-hmm.
So who's now, I think he's a 3rd degree black belt. The gym is big. I think he's living in, I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I think he's living in Dubai or in the Emirates right now.
Mm-hmm.
And after a year training, so I was already a blue belt. And after a year, I decided to follow my ex-coach to set up our own team in Dublin. So I got my purple in Poland because my ex-coach was Polish.
Mm-hmm.
In a very rough team. Macaco gold team,
mm-hmm.
Linke gold team. So like the head coach was George Patino Macaco.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the days, he did fight with Jack Harry in MMA, Gracie Challenge, everything, like super hardcore guy. Totally crazy, but super hardcore. And his students, so the coach of my ex-coach, was the first Polish black belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the very first non-Polish to ever come to this gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't speak a word of Polish, of course. So they were coming to me saying like, what do you want? And I was like, they are selecting you for the sparring.
Oh.
So, and I was blonde, I was like much skinnier than now. So that was rough.
Yeah.
That was I remember they over there, black belt take the shower first, then brown, then purple, then blue.
Oh, there's a hierarchy for shower lines.
Yes. And of course, like there is no water from the purple, So but I was privileged, I was able to take the shower with black belt because I was with my ex-coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my purple in Poland, my brown in Dublin, and my black belts in Poland, in Szczecin.
Yeah.
So in the same team, my ex-team.
Poland, I think out of the 2 European countries that I know of, I think like at the time I was still living in the UK doing Jiu-Jitsu. UK was the number one in terms of number of black belts.
Yeah.
And then second place was Poland.
France is probably not far behind right now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Because I remember I did the French championship in 2000. Oh my God. I'm getting older. 2013, something like that. As a white belt. And back in the days, we didn't have this regulation that if you have a certain belt in judo, you have to start, as a blue belt. So like, and everyone in the white belt division was like judo black belt.
Yeah.
Because that was like the natural transition, because they were banning so many techniques from judo, like the morotegari, so like the double leg, the single leg. There was like so many things which are absolutely stupid because it kind of it broke judo like as an art.
It really did, yeah.
And so people are just like, okay, like I'm gonna transition to judo. I'm gonna go for grappling. Or I'm gonna do MMA. So, but yeah, Poland is. If you have a fight with a Polish guy, you win or you lose, that's gonna be painful.
Yeah,
that's gonna be painful.
absolutely,
That's gonna be painful. That's gonna be. These guys are rough, man. And I was coming from. So I got my. I mean, I was training in a Linke goal team. So Mariusz Linke died 2 years ago. He highly influenced me, my life, my jiu-jitsu, the way I train. I always like to train massively. Like I've always been a big fan of sparring a lot and not drilling much. And he influenced me even more on this aspect, training like more. It was like his threshold for pain was just crazy. I remember him like limping on the mat when he had just like putting literally like tape around this, but like, you know, not the tape, like the physio tape or whatever, just the tape that you use to pack your stuff, you know, in carton, just like wrapping that around his knee and training and training super hard. And this was a very rough place. Like that was a rough place. Probably half of the guy I was training with are in jail or something like that. But yeah, super rough place. Super rough. Not the most technical place for sure, really old school. But like it pushed your limits to some places you would never have imagined you could go there. Really. Like I remember I was training 3 times per day for 2 or 3 weeks when I was in Szczecin. That was like, you know, you shift away a little bit because there is so much pain. You mainly train. I remember that's crazy. Now I'm thinking about I remember like we started the training at 9 a.m. with CrossFit. So that was the warm up. So like giant hammer hitting like, you know, a
tire.
Yeah, the tire, benching, ropes. And that was like the 9 a.m. training. And after we were jumping for sparring, to sparring directly. And after that, after like 45 hours sparring or whatever, we were doing some technique. And of course, your brain is deep fried. Your brain is not able to receive information at this point. You know, you just want food, you just want to sleep, you just want to not drill. You know, that's so like most of people were leaving the mat because they're alive. And I was there on holidays and training camps, so I was staying there and drilling techniques. But I was like, my brain was not absorbing the information anymore. Like I was like, so that's what is this culture of like roughness, of toughness, of don't give up, like whatever. Don't tap on footlock. Yeah, don't tap on footlock. Like it's gonna pop, that's fine. Don't tap on footlock. This doesn't work like that, man. You know, Liam. It's like.
So you're living and working in Dublin, and in between as well. I mean, you're traveling a little bit, right? Yeah. And that's how we ended up meeting. Yeah. We ended up meeting in Yokohama.
2017.
2017. We didn't even speak that. I think we trained a little bit. We had a couple of rolls together, and that was it, basically.
I remember I rubbed my
you put your jaw right in my rib cages, and you basically, I was like, what the hell? And you're heel hooking all the guys at the gym because, like, I think the leg lock revolution hadn't happened there. Yeah. And you had a friend, a Japanese friend that was studying or working in Dublin and training together, right?
Yeah, Hiroki, like amazing guy, like so many memories, man. So I was working in Amazon back in the days, and I already hated my life. Okay, I wanted to travel, I wanted to compete. Yeah. So I texted Hiroki. He was in Dublin for 6 months for a study exchange, something like that. And I was, okay, man, like, I'm going to come for 2 weeks, organize my life. I want to train 3 times per day, wherever, with whoever. And I want to compete in Japan because it's my dream since I'm born. You know, I was watching competitions, you know, judo competitions like the Kano Cup or whatever on TV. And I was like, I want to go there. I want to fight over there. And I was okay. And 2 weeks after, I was gone. I was gone for 2 weeks so I did train in Tokyo, Yokohama, Kawasaki, training 3 times per day. I remember we were taking the train. There was the dirty diesel, crazy time. So amazing time. And I went to gyms, like, you know, like very small, like it was the first time I was going to Asia. So for me, like a gym was like the ground floor. It was like, and I was taking lift to go to buildings at the 9th floor. There was a gym over there. It's like
It's almost like
tiny,
the size of like a 1-bedroom.
Yeah,
right?
Tiny place, and there was black belt everywhere. That was super cool, and I was super focused. I've always been a nerd in terms of jiu-jitsu, so it was when 2017 EBI and everything, and I was witnessing Gary Tonon heel hooking everyone, and Eddie Cummings was of course on top of his art, and I was like, yeah, I have to do that. Like, I don't know how they do that, but I have to do that. So was watching videos all days and not really drilling. I've never been a big fan of drilling, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna heel hook people. Like, it's what I want to do, and I was like trying to understand the breaking mechanics because no one was really teaching heel hooks back then. So, because 2017, it was not really mainstream yet. Now everyone is doing heel hooks.
Everyone's doing it now,
a bit too much, by the way, because they kind of forget about what
everything
jiu-jitsu
else.
is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So people don't really know how to pass guard, but they want to learn modern jiu-jitsu. So, 2017, Yokohama, I was with Hiroki, training in so many different gyms, and that was cool. Was
there any gyms that stood out to you when you're traveling around?
I really like in Japan. Extreme Grappling Academy was cool.
You like that one? Yeah,
the vibe was cool, and the thing in Japan is not many people speak English at all.
Was that surprising to you?
It was my very first big trip. I think it was my first trip outside Europe? I think so. It was my first trip outside Europe. So it was.
I think Japan is probably, I think it's like the top 3 countries in Asia that can speak English. So if you're
in Asia for sure.
Exactly. Like if you're not in a central location like Tokyo.
Yeah. Even in Tokyo, but maybe it was 7 years ago. So like 7 years ago, if you were like, I don't know, like if like 8 or 10 years old kid were there now, they're like 17 or 18. So
it's still they
probably progress so much.
The amount of like foreign teachers they bring in to teach in like remote schools in different parts of Japan and stuff like that, but still like it has improved, but like, the Japanese language level isn't the best over there.
I mean, that's understandable at some, on some aspects, because it's a different alphabet. It's not even the same pronunciation and everything. Like, for example, in France, we suck at languages in general, but there is no real excuse because we have the same alphabet. We're close to Spain. We're not that far from England. But we just don't care. Like French people, they're just too cocky to speak English. It's a fact. It's like, let's be realistic. They just, and if a French person can speak French with someone else and you hear and as a foreigner and you don't understand anything about the conversation, they don't care. Like, that's something I hate personally. For someone who has been living abroad for, I think like there is 2 countries who are specialized regarding that. That's Brazil and France. Yeah. Like, you're with a group of Brazilian guy, they do speak English, they're not gonna speak English. They're gonna speak Portuguese. You're with a group of French guys, you don't speak French, they speak English, they're not gonna speak English to you. You have to speak French. Yeah. Otherwise, fuck off. And that's ridiculous. That's something, you bring barrier into what communication between different countries should be to me. I'm not really proud of that. But
after that, we met once. I liked your vibe in general. And then I don't know if I was living in Japan at the time or I was like, I was in Myanmar by that time. But you were
living in Japan, I remember. 2019.
But you ended up going to Rete, which was my home gym for like nearly 3 years, right?
Yeah. So I remember, like, it's crazy because it's because of you. Like, I'm in Asia right now. 2017, I meet you in Japan, and you told me you should come to Bangkok and train in Arete. Yeah, there is a lot of tough guys. You're gonna love. You're gonna enjoy it. I was okay, cool. 2018. I visited Bangkok, and I can't really explain why I step a foot outside the plane when I was in Bangkok, and I want to live here. I don't know why. Like, there was something so familiar with Thailand. I want to live here. Then I trained Arete. It was super cool. Like, I stayed for 2 weeks. I was training 3 times per day. that was so cool. I make like so many cool friends and good people that I was with them yesterday, and they all remembered me, you know, from 2019. And so there is a very Arete. There is a very special vibe in Arete. Like that, to me, it's very hard to describe. You have to go to Arete. Yeah. Go to Arete. You're not gonna be disappointed. There was Andrew back in the days. I think he's in Canada right now.
He's doing some security work there right now. And
I came back because I enjoyed so much, and I came back in 2020, and boom, COVID happened.
Yeah.
The day I arrived, I remember I trained one day, and COVID happened, and I was okay. That's okay, I guess. We're gonna keep training, and everyone went crazy. Everything shut down.
It's crazy. I remember when it was first happening, I was in Myanmar as well, and the lockdown started happening. The gyms had to shut down. They're putting like plastic between the treadmills. You know, you have to wear a mask when you're training, all this kind of stuff. And
that was insane. Like, I mean,
it didn't make any sense to me.
It was insane because I was in Thailand, like in the beginning of the beginning of the pandemic, and I was watching news from Europe, from Dublin, where everyone was saying, like, in Asia it's crazy, everything is closed, there is no food in the supermarket. And I was in Bangkok, and I was like, everything is open, like no one is dying in the street, like, everything is fine. And I always have these things like, everything will be fine. You know, like, and whatever happened, everything will be fine. Like, I've been stressed enough in my life, and like I couldn't train for this second trip in Arete. So, and everything was closed. So I remember I met a French guy in the hotel, and we were drinking just pina colada all day. And because there was nothing to do, everything was closed. And it was a weird time.
It really was, yeah. And then, so you spend the rest of your time in Thailand, and do you go back to Ireland? Is that what happens?
Yeah. I spent like, so my flights got, of course, all cancelled. So I had to stay a few more days. Then I had to flew to, if I remember well, Amsterdam, and I got stuck in Amsterdam for a few days. And after I just in a room, and after I went back to Dublin, and people in Europe were just they were going crazy, absolutely mental. That's no description. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's crazy how tribal it go. People shouting at each other.
Yeah, man.
Stay home. All this kind of stuff. It was the same in Myanmar as well.
I know, like the population was so divided back in the days between, and again, the media such doing such a great job, you know, to divide the population, you know, like to bring of course, like correct information. And there was a war between people who wanted to stay, home, and push people to stay home, to get 55 shots, to do whatever, to crazy time, like insane time. Yeah.
So then everything starts we're both in a similar situation. I'm locked down in Myanmar. There's curfew. You can't go out. There's barely anything you can do. Luckily, I was lucky enough where I had some judo mats, so I just put them down at my friend's place in the patio, and we pretty much just trained all day, and that was like the highlight of my day, basically. So
for me, COVID time was I think like for a lot of people, that was a moment which changed my life.
Yeah.
So I was training. Of course, everything was closed, and we kept training because in Dublin, in Ireland, like the police is cool.
Yeah,
like they don't even have guns. You know, so it's not that hard. Like in France, it was much harder in terms of lockdown and everything. But I had like some pretty severe health issues after the COVID vaccine, because like the only thing I wanted is to travel. The only thing I wanted is to train.
Yeah, you just wanted to get it over and done with.
I hated my job. I hated like everything. I needed a big change. So I was okay. I was of course against. Of course, you know me, so I guess like
I just like okay, just do it.
Yeah, I just do it. And I got big health issues about that. So I had crazy pain in my left leg for 5 months. And went to doctors. They had no idea, and I mean, and crazy pain, like 9 out of 10, like
Really?
every day, 24 hours. I was waking up 6 times during the night, taking all painkillers possible, like so, and very strong painkillers. We're not talking about paracetamol. We're talking about like opioids, everything, and nothing worked. And I was so depressed because 2 days before the shot, I was deadlifting heavy. And I remember like I went to see a doctor when like the pain started to be so hard. And he told me, yes, because you deadlifted too heavy, you know, and no one had any explanation. No one wanted to say like, yeah, maybe it's something wrong with it. So, and took me like 5 months. I went to another doctor, like 20th in the list, and he told me, yeah, it's time to buy a crouch and accept your situation. And I was, I will try to not, get emotional because it's like something which is like even still very painful, like just the memories and everything. I remember I was so sleep deprived that I was like seeing the line when I was waking up in the morning, like kind of like floating, and I couldn't see straight, and I had like bees in my ears all the time because I was waking, I was waking up 6-7 times per night because of the pain. So it was just like so many layers of horrible things, and I was not recognized at work, like someone sick. So I had to keep working on top of everything. So it was insane. So after this doctor told me like, it's time to buy a crouch, and to accept your situation, I remember. And I was like, no, it's never going to happen. So I went back to the gym, and limping. And I was like kind of dragging my leg. Thanks God the gym was very close to where I was living. And I remember I did one pull-up, and I started to puke for like 10 minutes, and my nervous system was deep fried. I was shaking from everywhere. I was like, okay, that's okay for today. And I went back the day after that, and same thing. And I was pushing myself so hard. Of course, like I have quite some ego, so I was going to the gym where it was an MMA gym, so it was closed, but I had the keys anyway. So I was still some pro fighters who had the keys as well, who were still training there, even during lockdown. And I was going in time where no one was able to see me absolutely miserable, So and I kind of like re-educated myself like hardcore way, and the only thing I wanted was to train hard again.
Yeah.
I want to spar. And so yeah, I had that. And that's the moment where I said like, there was something else. There was another moment on top of that. Another crazy thing happened. But I was, I'm not going to die in an office. Like there is no way. There is no way. I need to do something because no,
you're not going to accept it.
No, I'm not going to accept that. So that was the moment, one of the click, which made me think like, I have to change my life. I have to change my life upside down completely. So
you start to recover then, thankfully. And then you basically just do a 180 in your life completely.
I mean, something else happened. So that's a crazy story. Something like when was it? Like 2 years ago, something grew up on my back, like kind of a cyst or whatever. And so I was, training, everything was fine, the pain was gone, and I went to the doctor, and she was it has to be removed, we don't really know what it is, blah blah blah. So they remove it, like they scoop it, and it went straight to a lab for analyze, and they called me 3 days after. It's like, there is an emergency, you have to come. Okay, fair enough. I went there, and the lady told me, that's a cancer. okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so they, you know, I got blood analyzed, like when they remove it and everything, and so they told me like there is metastases everywhere. So like you have like few months to live. It was okay. That's okay. Went back home and I was thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do now, because I have just a few months left, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Thailand and just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and just enjoy and train hardcore, and I just didn't want anyone to see me, you know, dying, you know. So in my head there was no way for me to go back to my family and to see me like just like shrinking and go to like all the crazy treatments, because it was done, you know, and I just didn't want to. My mom or whoever else like wiping my ass, because I was the shadow of myself. So there was no way. And I got another phone call 3 days after. And the same doctor told me, and no, it was not the doctor actually, it was just the medical secretary. She told me like, you have to come back, it's an emergency. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a true story. That's a real story. So arrived there, waited in a room for like 30 minutes, but you know, I was feeling like, I feel free, you know, because nothing gonna happen, you know, nothing worse gonna happen than that, you know. It's and the same doctor was in front of me, white, but white, like that, like she was, you know, and she started to have a speech with me. She was, you know, medicine is not an exact science. I was like,
oh God,
the fuck is going on? You know, could you please talk to me and be straightforward, because like I have flight ticket to buy and just like shit to sell, and and I need to have fun at some point in my life. And I said like, we swapped your blood analyzed with someone else.
Jesus.
And the only thing I said was like, so you mean that someone thinks he's perfectly fine when
yes, he's dying.
He's dying. And she just like nodded. Just, and I was, are you fucking serious? And she was like, yeah, but you know, I think we got lost in translation. I was like, no, we didn't got in translation. And that's this exact moment I said like, okay.
Yeah, that's enough.
No, I'm done. Yeah. Like, I mean, there is too many like red flags. There is too many things. I'm getting the fuck out, and I want to do something like, I'm not going to receive any passive aggressive email from my managers or whatever. No, I'm done.
Life's too short for that.
Yeah. And I was like, so yeah, that was COVID. I call that the COVID leg period. Then, you're going to die. Then fuck that, you know. No.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. It was way too much for me. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah.
So then you just decide, I want to live the rest of my life on the beach, basically, right? Yeah. And you go to Pouquette.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you end up getting hooked up with Temple then?
So I met the ex-owner of Temple in a taxi.
Oh, right.
Mehdi. And purple belt. And he told me, I know, I'm going to open a gym, you know, blah, blah, blah. If you want, you should pass by. And I was okay. And I was okay, I'm going to visit Pouquette. I visited Pouquette, and of course the place was just so cool.
Yeah.
Just like, probably like the best place I've ever visited for Jiu-Jitsu. Like close to the beach, like super high level. And yeah, that was my target. I was like, I want to live there.
Yeah.
You know, I want to teach Jiu-Jitsu, to spread the knowledge. And I want to live a very simple life where I can fulfill myself, when I can help people around. You know, I really wanted to help kids as well, to bring, you know, kids out of the streets. You know, I had this willpower that I wanted to do good things around me as a form of redemption. Because working for 10 years for a big American company is just like
pretty soul destroying, right?
Man,
Yeah.
It's it broke something inside me for real. So yeah, I wanted to do that, and I did. So and I moved to Asia, and I ended up managing Temple for some time. So yeah, that was.
Yeah. Pouquette is an interesting ecosystem. Let's just put it that way, right? It's very interesting. See, I was just down there.
But I can write a book for just the 8 months I spent over there. I can write a book. Like
it's enjoyable. It's fun. It's very friendly. But then I was there for the high season. I just came back from there maybe 2 weeks ago. I was training in Pouquette Grappling Academy at Ben's.
Ben is a legend.
Oh, he's amazing.
Ben is a legend.
Yeah, not much of a talker, but he's a very genuine person.
He speaks Jiu-Jitsu, you know.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Exactly.
That's a
good one.
He's a legend.
But so they had those two Polish guys, Szynski and Kamil.
Yeah,
they're going to be back in March.
Yeah,
and we'll probably be doing a podcast together before they go to
big leg lockers.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, I really resonated with Kamil. I just thought, man, this guy's a really good coach. I really like him.
Won the ADCC trial in 2017, the European ones, and I think he lost. So he went to ADCC and he lost against Freakazoid, if I remember in the first round of ADCC 2017.
Yep. I mean, even Szynski, he was like a late replacement for 2022, and he ended up like footlocking one of the Taka brothers, right? Yeah.
Anju, I think.
But Kamil, like, I just like Szynski's, like, he showed really dynamic, like amazing leg locks. Yeah. But then Kamil, what I loved about him was he was very attentive to everyone that was there, and he was just like really good explaining things basically. And he was I like good energy whenever I'm learning from somebody, and it's just both of them were really amazing. Had a great time there. But yeah, the one thing I hated though was the traffic is scary. I don't know, like I heard you're a bit more of a daredevil than me, but like I'm Japanese. Yeah, well, I'm mostly Japanese. I like to drive safely. Yeah. And then when I'm seeing these cars whipping past with no helmets on,
that's what I love.
Oh, you love that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know,
shit, I hate that.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel I don't know. It's very weird, but I feel very good into chaos when things are chaotic around me. I feel good.
Chaos.
I feel good. You know, I feel good when it's when everything is kind of loose. I'm a big fan of freedom in general.
Yeah, I mean, Thailand is that. Yeah, you feel that energy, right?
And I like it. You know, even in Bangkok, I like the vibe so much. You know, I like the chaos. I like. You know. And Pouquette is, as you said, like a very interesting place where you can meet a really wide variety of people, from the guy who went to war in Russia to the crypto millionaire to the IT guy who just wants to train jiu-jitsu to the guy who just wants the hippie who wants to smoke weed and enjoy the beach to the older guy who want to enjoy other pleasure in Thailand.
Yeah.
so you can have everything. Like you really can find everything in Pouquette. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. I think. And it's, you know, I was in the south, or I was in the south here, sorry, in Hawaii. So like nature was crazy. I met some very, very good friends over there. I was like going fishing and that was so cool. Yeah. You know, it was some of the best time in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting with the leg lock camp as well. Most of the people actually came were like all like brown, black belts, pretty high level people, and they all came to learn, right?
Yeah,
which was pretty awesome. Even the guys from the head coach Thiago from Super Pro was there.
Okay,
he was training, really chill. He's the guy that runs Super Pro in Samui.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know the person. Yeah,
lovely guy, right? And Kotao, 10th Planet. Luke was there as well. So all these guys were there. All these coaches were there. And they all came to the same place.
Well, and Ben did something amazing with Pouquette Grappling Academy.
They did.
Yeah, I met Ben in 2000. First time I went to Pouquette, 2020, something like that. Yeah. And I rolled with him, and I have a photo where like he's in his previous place. It's just like
tiny little blue mountain.
Tiny little like thing, and I was with Rodrigo, you know, was training in Arete. We took some time in Pouquette as well when I was there. So he's in Bali, I think.
Yeah,
at the
he's in
moment.
Bali now, Ubud area.
Yeah. Amazing guy, super cool guy, super chill. Really enjoy my time
He's
with
like
him.
an energizer bunny. He doesn't stop, right?
Oh, it's so cool. Like, it was so cool. And yeah, Ben is and now he has a very successful academy. Like
great.
His last fight in One FC Championship was just.
It was incredible. Apparently, he had a really bad injury, and that's why he could really take down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And he just fought. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before in Japan.
Yeah.
First round neck crank.
Yeah, he won as well.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the previous one, like his crazy fight.
It was it was basically like
against Ivan, I think.
Yeah, it was like a battle for like who's the dominant guy in Pouquette, basically.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like the top dogs in MMA and like Ben being Ben, you know, he brought the show and huge respect to him, huge shout out, you know, like what he did is like with his academy, bringing so many people. Like my one of my best friend Maga is training over there.
Yeah.
He loves the vibe and that's it's probably a very different vibe from Temple.
Yeah. I think Maga probably fits better in the Pouquette Grappling Academy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think so. I think my guy, you fit much better in Pouquette, in Pouquette Grappling Academy. Yeah.
It was interesting because well, Temple unfortunately is no more.
Yeah.
And then it was just like there's 3 coaches needing a place to find, you know. And I said to Maga, like they're actually looking for someone in Bangkok. And this was after you just jetted off to Hong Kong. And he said, no, I think I'll stick around.
No.
You know, I think he prefers it.
I think like Maga is an excellent coach, but he's a fighter.
Yeah.
And he has this he's in Russia at the moment, but he has this you know, this mindset where I have like few private customers, you know, few PTs. I'm gonna leave, you know, I don't need much, and I'm gonna train.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna progress as a fighter. And for example, like I was thinking about him to bring him to Hong Kong and everything, but he wouldn't fit at all, you know. I don't even fit at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Maga and I are very similar. And he wouldn't be able to bend, you know, to accept the fact that there is very few training partner for him. He's a wild animal, you know, so he needs his dose of hardcore training daily.
So in Temple, you're not only the head coach, basically, you're also like managing the gym, right? That side of things, did you find that surprising or?
No, in fact, so like that was the goal. I was moving there because the previous manager left.
Yep.
What happens in Pouquette stays in Pouquette. You know, I'm not gonna be able to go into too much detail. I'm just gonna scratch the surface, you know. And I came to manage the gym, so it was manage the gym and coach over there. So so the situation was challenging.
Yeah,
that's type of word.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
Yes, the type of word I was you know, I've been asked to use when I was working in corporate. It's not shit. It's challenging. And so we did our best. We're working heavily. Even coaches were not involved in any kind of management and everything. Joanna, Maga, and myself were working our ass off to put things together.
Yeah,
and we ended up having a challenging landlady who decided to kick us out at some point for very obscure reasons. And so we were gymless, you know, we had to remove everything in few days. And we had the opportunity to recreate temple again, starting from scratch. But that was like
starting from zero again.
And I was.
I mean, you were pretty much working 7 days a week previously, right? In the current situation,
I was like, there was no like 5, 6 days. No, it was 7 days per week plus teaching, and I was lucky enough to have very good training partners. So training were hard. So yeah, that was no, like, and it was crazy because it was my dream to live in in Thailand, especially in Pouquette.
Yeah.
And having a work permit was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it is a nightmare here.
That was so hard.
Yeah.
And spending a lot of money, getting a work permit and having everything and seeing everything like crumbling and having to set up a new company. So you have to, start from zero with the work permit again, because I was like, no, I'm not mentally ready to go to immigration
do all that
55 times.
Because it's going to depend on if like that officer is going to be having a good day.
Yeah, and you go to immigration. I mean, it's very funny. Like in Thailand, like there is this aspect where even people who are supposed to know rules, they don't. So you're gonna call immigration and say like, can I stay? Like, can I extend my visa for 30 more days? And they're gonna tell you, yeah, you have to call the airport. So you call the airport, the immigration. It's like, yeah, you have to call the immigration. It's just like,
yeah,
thanks, dude. Yeah. So, and kind of like back and forth, and yeah, I was not ready to start everything from scratch, and a lot of things happened that I will probably never be able to disclose. And we moved on. We moved on to Hong Kong.
Luckily you're at a stable brand or stable franchise like Carpe Diem, right? Diem. Yeah. I mean, the Hong Kong lifestyle, I've been there a few times for competitions and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems like it's a little bit more similar to
horrible place.
You said it, I didn't.
Horrible place. So I'm very straightforward, and my boss Alex, shout out to Alex, is absolutely amazing. Great guy. Yeah, like he's taking care of us like super well. Yeah, like nothing to say. But Hong Kong, being Hong Kong, it's a financial place. It's a place where 99% of people who are coming to the gym are pilots or they work in finance. So it's not really a place for a fighter. Again, I'm a big fan of nature, freedom. And in Hong Kong, people are terrified of everything. Like, it's just like, that's true. You're like, kind of, yeah. No, they're terrified of everything. Like sweating too much, training too hard. Yeah, you'll get that. Breathing, leaving. You'll get that when someone is coughing. Is just terrified of like.
Everyone's kind of bubble wrapped a little bit.
Like right? in Thailand, we got a staff per week. It's a staff. It's fine. I'm gonna get some antibiotics in the pharmacy and keep training. So things are so different, And again, when I was in Dublin, I was training super hard in a super hardcore place for like a decade. And before that, it was again, I come from super rough team, and before that it was judo, and
judo's hardcore,
super hard, man. Like you don't complain because you sweat too much, or because like you torn your nail, or like you just fucking train, man. Yeah, it's hard, man. And moving there's this very strong cultural shock for me, very strong. Yeah, where the company and my boss is doing absolutely everything to make to make shit happen.
It makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean
the job's good, the boss is great.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just the environment's crap, right?
Yeah,
but then it was the exact opposite of that in Pouquette, right? The environment's incredible, but the job is shit, basically.
And the job was challenging.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay. Job was challenging, but I mean, it's not really the job which was hard. It was more a lot of external factors which
made the job.
Yeah, made the job. I'm gonna give an anecdote just to make you realize how challenging the job was. So we signed a contract with the previous landlady, and at some point she said, like, yeah, you're not allowed to use the shower anymore. The facilities, because on the contract it was written like you can use the shower following availability. So it means everything and nothing. And at the end of the day, she owns the land.
Yeah, exactly.
So fuck you, Farang. You know, like, it's like you have absolutely no rights. Like you come here, it's not your place. You need a visa, so you're gonna do exactly what I'm telling you to do. And I know at the very beginning it was because we were like in a facility where there was a swimming pool and everything, and we were not allowed to use a swimming pool when I arrived already. And I was like, yep, we did step foot in, like, it's too late. Like, that's going to be more and more. And then it was a shower. So, like, people were training, but not able to take shower in a place where staff is king. Really, like, staff are everywhere. So, even if you clean the mat and everything, people are not able to take showers. So, it's doesn't make any sense. And after you were not able to park your motorbike here, you had to park your motorbike here. And after you were not able to do this, you were not able to park your motorbike this way. You had to park your motorbike this way. And I was receiving texts at 10 p.m. saying like, yeah, there is this, there is that. And I was like, yeah, do I have a fucking life at some point? Like, and there was this amount of constant things and external factor which made the job stressful. As a matter of fact, even if my boss was amazing and the place was incredible. And I made friends for life over there. So people are just so good. But all these external factors, and I remember like with my ex-boss, we were battling really like to make things happen, but at some point, well, I mean, at some points, like, you know, and we had like meetings, like hours of meeting over the phone, even with her, the previous landlady, and nothing. You know, like when the person just didn't want, you know, like,
want to make your life impossible.
Yeah, like it's gonna be impossible. So that's and like step by step, slowly, and everything collapses. It is, So it's
difficult, man.
It's life.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be, how would you evaluate the current trends in Jiu-Jitsu, and where do you see the sport progressing?
Jiu-Jitsu is becoming more and more professional. That's something which is amazing. Again, like coming from, I've been training for 30 years now. So I've seen even like the evolution on YouTube, on sometimes a bit too much because social media are just destroying people. Brain. But now I see kids training. Even kids are exposed to such a high level of jiu-jitsu. You see Joseph Chen himself, he said like, yeah, I became good, you know, just watching instructional during lockdown. And to me, this is mind blowing. You know, this is
5 years of training.
Yeah, after, of course, he's a prodigy. He has been exposed to the highest level of jiu-jitsu on earth. I mean, some of the highest jiu-jitsu. And I see more and more females training as well, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I see I don't see the sport becoming mainstream at all. Like mainstream, like
the UFC. It won't be like the UFC.
UFC is mainstream, but you know, football is mainstream. Football is mainstream. Why? Because it's the easiest sport to understand. Like the team score the goal, you're fucking pumped. Like the other team score a goal, like you're depressed. easy job.
Yeah.
It's a sport for you don't need anything. You need a ball. You play football. Everyone plays football. Everyone played football at least once. Even if you see boxing, even if it's a sport which is not as popular as it used to,
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, like it's extremely, of course, like don't get me wrong, it's extremely hard to practice and to master because you have a very restricted panel of tool. But you have to punch the person in the face.
Yeah,
that's all. So that's or in you know like you can punch, like you can hit only 50% of the body. That's straightforward. You need to knock the person out. If you watch the UFC or any type of MMA match and everything, you kind of understand like that they wrestle, they stand up, like. But Jiu-Jitsu will never become really mainstream because to really understand Jiu-Jitsu, you have to train.
Yeah.
And most of people who start Jiu-Jitsu, they will never get a blue belt. Because
it's too hard.
Yeah. Like in boxing, after a week, you understand that you have to put your hands in front of your face to not get punched. Like at least to have a guard.
Yeah.
After a week in Jiu-Jitsu, you can't even do a front roll for for most of people. So it's never gonna become mainstream. No-gi maybe more because it's more spectacular, but in gi there is just too much stalling and everything. That's probably one of the reasons why BJJF is losing its value as well.
Yeah, exactly.
On top of the fact that they're just like robbing people. That's another problem.
Well, yeah.
Don't forget to pay your membership. And if you want your black belt certificate, it's $400. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but then of course you have the UAE JJF coming in now, and they're putting into the school curriculum. They see what the transformative power of jiu-jitsu is now as well. So you're going to see the UAE really making a difference, I think.
Yeah, because they invest massive amount of money as well.
Exactly.
So there is this thing where
it's not about taking money; it's about putting money out and investing.
Yeah,
right?
the whole AGP and everything. The registration is pretty cheap compared to BJJF,
and they are trying to spread,
and they are spreading like massively, and at the same time, it's not really a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah,
and BJJF is what it is. You know what I mean? Like there is a guy on top.
Yeah,
he's the only one who is able to give belt to the guy who's under because he's he has the highest belt and everything. You know, it's a bit of a Ponzi. You know?
Yeah. So last two questions. What are your future plans?
Building a team.
Yeah.
You know, like
I think it's going to be challenging, especially when you don't like Hong Kong that much. But I think if anybody can do it, it's probably going to be you, right?
I don't know. Like I failed in Thailand, so I deeply hope that I'm the type of guy. I really try to give my best in anything I'm doing. So I love Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I want to build this team, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen in the future. You know, like it's really building, having like few competitors, you know, under my wing, and try to push them as far as possible.
Lastly, who would you like to thank?
Wow, there is so many people, but I think my dad, first of all, because he brought me to Judo when I was a child, and he brought me to every single competition, like every weekend for like until my 16th birthday or something like that. And he was not good, you know. I was a decent judo guy, but I've never been a very good judo guy. I mean, I was a good judo guy, but in France, like you're just a random guy, you know. So he kind of like, and I think I never thanked him for that, but he indirectly helped me to become the man I am by bringing me to this sport. I would like to thank Maga as well. Like I have him in because, you know, during some very difficult time in Thailand, he was here, and with this smile, and he didn't care about anything, and I was just like, he's just such a fucking legend.
Yeah,
we'd like to thank Joanna. You know, she's here and helping a lot. and Alex for sure. And the last person I would like to thank is you, because without you, first of all, I wouldn't be in the podcast, but that's not the most important thing.
It's
thing
kind
is
of
like
weird.
I would probably not be in Asia.
Yeah.
Know, so
we have like 40 minutes together in Japan.
Yeah.
We keep in touch. I see you in Arete.
Yeah.
And fuck.
But you know, it's you know, I deeply think that you can meet someone 5 minutes in your life and you can change the direction of your life, or you can have such a strong influence in your life. I had that with Mariusz Linke. So the person who, I mean, the first black belt in Poland I was talking about previously. I met this guy 3 times, I think, even if it was for like a longer period of time. But he influenced my life massively. And rest in peace, Mariusz. Like I'm not really like a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person, and I know I don't know if you're up there or somewhere, but you're probably the toughest man I've ever met, and thank you, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.